Okay, let's dive in. We're talking about some really fascinating stuff today. Imagine this. A flower so rare people compare it to, well, a Pokemon.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, at a rainforest. So competitive, it honestly makes human society look pretty tame. Plus, some ancient cultural practices that might just make your jaw drop.
Right.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into a stack of really captivating sources, notes from a recent expedition to Sabah in Malaysia.
And what's really interesting here, I think, is how these notes, they sort of blend a personal travel diary with some pretty deep insights, into nature, culture,
Yeah.
even a bit of personal reflection. So our job today is to pull out the most important bits. We're talking biology of a giant flower, wisdom from ancient trees, these flickering fireflies.
Poetic.
Basically, yeah, magic. We want to give you a shortcut to getting up to speed on this incredible place. And the insights, they go beyond just travel tips, really. They show how nature and human history are tangled up together.
Absolutely. We've got notes here on the world's biggest flower, reflections on dealing with a tricky knee injury in that landscape,
Oh, right.
discussions with a naturalist about how plants really survive, firsthand accounts of cultural traditions, too, and this amazing experience with thousands of fireflies.
That's incredible.
Yeah, get ready for some serious aha moments. This deep dive, it's really designed to help you connect the dots, understand not just what was found, but, why it actually matters.
Okay, let's get into it.
So our journey into these sources, it kicks off in Kota Kinabalu, Malaysia, and the quest, finding the Rafflesia.
Ah, the giant flower.
Exactly. The notes call its appearance kind of like Gloom from Pokemon, which is
Yeah.
quite a comparison.
It is.
And this trip, interestingly, was a return visit, going back to Sabah after 9 years away, having only seen a little bit the first time.
And it's hard to overstate how rare this plant actually is.
Right.
The Rafflesia, it's the world's largest single flower.
Right.
And it's parasitic. Gets everything from its host vine, no leaves or stem of its own.
Why? Completely wild.
And there's no fixed blooming season either, which makes finding one, well, incredibly difficult. The guide in the notes was smart, suggesting the Rafflesia conservation area as the best bet.
And it paid off.
Yeah.
Which must have felt great, especially considering the traveler mentions a knee injury 6 months before from the Tiger Leaping Gorge trek.
Yeah.
So stepping back into that forest environment, it felt, well, invigorating. The greenness alone was uplifting. And they even spotted a huge Lingzi mushroom.
Oh, the medicinal fungus. Nice find.
Yeah. So the forest wasn't just sights. It was almost like a kind of renewal.
That journey to find the Rafflesia really puts its life cycle into perspective. From the moment it infects the host vine,
Yeah.
it takes a whopping 21 months before it might bloom. 9 months of that is just the bud developing.
21 months.
And then
those days.
it blooms for maybe 7 days. That's it.
7 days.
There's a story of an Indonesian cultivator waiting 16 years for one to bloom. So seeing a wild one, especially on day 2, like these sources describe, that's serious luck.
Immense luck. And here's a twist. It's often called the corpse flower, right? For the smell.
Supposedly, yes, like rotting meat to attract flies for pollination.
Well, this one, the traveler found. No foul odor. None at all.
Really? That's fascinating.
Yeah, the notes point out how Gloom, the Pokemon, is known for its terrible stench. But this real-life version, surprisingly scent-free.
Huh.
They found 2 buds, actually. One older one, maybe day 7, and a younger one at day 5. Seeing both together was rare. The younger one was kind of struggling to open, maybe crowded out.
Interesting.
And the petals, the patterns, the design, surprisingly close to the Pokemon depiction, apparently.
That lack of smell, though, it really makes you think, doesn't it? About preconceptions. Pop culture tells us one thing.
Right, you expect the stench.
Exactly. And then reality is different. Some people apparently find the petal patterns creepy, that whole trypophobia thing.
Yeah.
Clusters of holes.
Yeah, I could see that.
But the question in the notes, is it suddenly less creepy now? Without the smell. It's a good one. Challenges you to look past that first reaction.
Definitely. Okay, so beyond the Rafflesia, these notes really dive into the rainforest itself. You read about these ancient trees, hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
Canopy so thick, it's like permanent twilight down below.
And the naturalist guide, this teacher Liang, he really painted a picture of intense competition.
How so?
Well, think about it. Very little sunlight reaches the forest floor. So it's just this constant, relentless race upwards for the plants.
Right, for light.
Exactly. And despite all the biodiversity, the strategies plants use are, well, pretty ruthless. You mentioned strangling figs earlier.
Yeah, they literally strangle their host tree.
They too slowly engulf and kill them. Or think about those massive buttress roots you see on jumble giants.
For support.
Huge support, yeah. Because the soil is often quite shallow. Those roots anchor them so they can reach way, way up for that precious sunlight. It really shows you plant society is definitely high pressure, competitive.
Wow. It's not just peaceful greenery then.
Not at all. It's a battleground.
Okay, so the expedition wasn't only about plants. The notes talk about exploring tribal cultures too, moving from the rainforest to the Borneo cultural village.
Right, which showcases 6 different ethnic groups. It's worth remembering Borneo is massive, right? 3rd largest island globally, shared by Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei.
Good context.
And a key thing from the notes is the time spent with the Kadazan tribe. They're the largest in Sabah.
And they tried their unique drink.
Tuak, yeah. A coconut wine, fermented from coconut water and tree bark.
Sounds interesting. How was it?
The description is sour, astringent young coconut, followed by not great but tolerable.
Okay, maybe not a bestseller.
Probably not, but definitely a distinct cultural experience, you know.
For sure. But then there was something that really seemed to challenge the traveler. Yeah. Learning about headhunting ceremony.
Yes. Seeing an actual headhunter's blade.
Yeah, complete with noshes for victims.
Yeah.
The notes describe it as having this deep, almost spiritually charged presence, like an ancient, powerful artifact.
And that brings up a really important point, doesn't it? How do we engage with traditions like that, or even the raw power of nature, without, I don't know, simplifying them or judging them out of context?
Yeah, it's complex.
The sources do praise the village for how efficiently it immerses you in these different cultures, though, guided by a young 23-year-old guide, apparently delightful.
Nice. And beyond the culture, Sabah's food scene gets a big thumbs up. Mix of Chinese, Malay, Indian influences.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. The traveler went back to a bak kut teh place that's a herbal pork rib soup visited 9 years earlier.
Was it still there?
Not only still there, but busier. The pork knuckle was apparently super fatty, but amazing. Prices hadn't really changed. And the taste, exactly the same.
That's incredible, 9 years.
Isn't it?
You know, going back to a place like that, a restaurant, finding it the same but thriving, it really hits on that idea that revisiting places isn't just nostalgia.
What do you mean?
Well, it's like an opportunity to find new things or maybe just layer new memories onto the old ones. It speaks to continuity, right? And how familiar places can still offer something fresh.
That's a great way to put it. Oh, and they also mentioned the Twin Sky seafood restaurant, highly recommended for butter prawns. Sounds delicious.
Butter prawns. Okay, noted.
And the sights, too. The floating mosque, built in '97, looks brand new, apparently. Amazing reflections when the water's still.
Wow.
And get this, the old Sabah State Administration building. It rotates once a week.
It rotates? Why?
Nobody seems to know. Still a mystery. Adds to the charm, I guess.
Definitely adds to the charm.
So after exploring architecture and food in Kota Kinabalu, the evening brought something totally different. The next big highlight after the Rafflesia hunt was this boat tour. Kaul Wetlands for proboscis monkeys and fireflies.
Ah, the monkeys with the noses.
Those are the ones. The notes mention Sabah mornings are blazing hot, but afternoons often bring these dramatic storms. Makes for dynamic scenery. Boating in the rain was actually a first for the traveler.
Adds to the adventure, I suppose.
Totally. And there was this small but profound moment with the guide. The traveler pulls out insect repellent.
Instinctively.
And the guide just gently says, fireflies are insects too.
That's a nice reminder, a kind of respect for everything, even the tiny glowing ones.
Exactly. And the description of drifting into this glowing wonderland. It sounds unreal, like Alice falling down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
It was too dark to film properly, so it's purely sensory.
Oh, just taking it all in.
And then the real showstopper. The notes capture it perfectly. The world gifts us fireflies, then gifts us thunder.
Oh, lightning at the same time.
Yes. Flashes of lightning cutting through the dark, lighting up the river and the trees full of fireflies. The notes call it nature's spotlight in the darkness.
Fireflies and lightning.
Oh,
wow. Talk about contrast.
Right. Both fleeting. One this delicate, tiny silver light, the other this immense destructive power coexisting. Nature's paradox right there.
That image, the delicate fireflies and the powerful lightning together, it really is striking, isn't it? It shows how these seemingly opposite forces can, well, exist side by side.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings us back to that idea of revisiting things. How returning somewhere familiar can suddenly reveal something new, like layering new understanding onto old memories.
I see the connection.
It might even make you think about your own life, those moments where maybe you felt a bit lost or anxious, like the host mentions feeling around graduation,
Right.
and how later those feelings can transform into a deeper appreciation for life's complexities, its unexpected gifts.
That makes sense. This whole deep dive into Sabah, described as a great graduation trip, by the way. Affordable, great food, rewarding.
Sounds ideal.
It's given us a lot to think about. We really hope it's sparked some curiosity for you listening, maybe offered some surprising insights.
Yeah, I think what we've seen is that whether you're looking at a super rare flower's biology or soaking in the atmosphere of a busy restaurant or watching the sky put on a light show,
Yeah.
there's always more to learn. And bringing different perspectives together, different experiences, that always enriches how we understand things.
Absolutely true. Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with. If, as the notes say, the world gifts us fireflies, then gifts us thunder. What paradoxical gifts has your own life offered? Where have you seen seemingly contradictory things coexist, maybe even creating something, well, unexpected or beautiful? And maybe think about this too. What new treasures could you find by looking